if we could talk a little bit about your plan, the deferred compensation plan.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tick off, what we try to do is we want to make sure that we interact with plan sponsors and we give people a roadmap. So if you could share, that you're comfortable with, share some of the insights about your plan and things that you're tackling and issues that you're dealing with today.
It's kind of like in my plan, we just climbed a big hill, and we just were able to accomplish some really big things that we'd been wanting to accomplish for many years. And so I'll just talk about those rather than stuff that's coming down the road, because I think they're more important. So in Wyoming, the state of Wyoming is our single biggest employer with my plan. And Wyoming's like not even as big as big cities, altogether. The state of Wyoming's not even as big as big cities. There's 650,000 people in all of Wyoming. And so we have one big employer, the state of Wyoming, with maybe about 9,000 employees. And then we have all of our little cities, towns, counties, school districts, weed and pest districts. All these small employers can also join our 457 plan as well. And it's a very decentralized environment. Hiring can happen in thousands of different locations, as remote as like fish hatcheries and things like that. And so we could see the value of automatic enrollment. And I started talking with my board about automatic enrollment as soon as the Pension Protection Act was passed in 2007. August 17th, 2007, which happens to be my daughter's birthday. So
happy birthday to her.
When it comes.
Happy birthday to the Pension Protection Act.
Yes, exactly. It took us a while to be able to get our state law changed that would allow for automatic enrollment. And what we needed to do was we needed statutory permission to go forward with automatic enrollment. Our board had other challenges that they needed to deal with, and we weren't able to do that right off the bat, but we were building our ideas about it, and finally we were able to get our state law changed, and we just implemented automatic enrollment for the state of Wyoming employees who are newly hired as of July 1, 2015. And so that's been going now for a year and a half or so.
And what's the default percentage?
3%.
Okay.
And I'm proud to say that Wyoming has the highest default percentage of all the 457 plans out there that have auto enrollment. There's about 15 of them. I got to learn from them. So, most of them put it in either at 1% or at their minimum dollar amount, which might have been $20 or $25. And they quickly realized that that was not a meaningful amount. And so because our process took longer, I got to watch and realize if we're going to go in for this, we got to go big, and we've got to create a meaningful amount because it's a supplemental piece of retirement. It's not like the 401k levels where you really need to be 10% and beyond. So we did a whole income objective study on our plan, and I was greatly helped by Stacy Schaus of PIMCO on that, if that's allowed to say.
You're allowed. She was a guest on the show.
Yeah.
So hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Thank you again. We were greatly helped by Stacy Schaus of PIMCO with our asset or income objective study, which showed us, with all the assumptions we selected and how we decided to structure our study, it's kind of a complex thing to do. People in our environment needed to be saving on average 5.5% from the beginning of their career to their end of their career to fully inflation protect their benefit. And that was a little rich for us, that 5.5%, so we decided to back it down to 3%, and that's where we're at.
And did you consider the auto escalation, or is that something that you're considering on a go-forward basis, possibly?
We're considering it going forward, but we had because we're not the payroll arm of our organization, our payroll office was very concerned about being able to handle that technology-wise, so we put that on the back burner for now. But I can tell you that every person that gets hired into the state of Wyoming now is being automatically enrolled. We've had, last time I looked at the numbers, we'd had like 15 people opt out. We had 2 people take permissible withdrawals. So by and large, everybody who's getting hired with the state of Wyoming is positioned for good retirement outcomes. We've got a 97% stick rate. With, very few people are opting out of it. We were a little worried about the 3% level because our environment is kind of a lower wage environment. Our people don't earn high dollar in Wyoming usually, but it's working, and we're very proud of that. Then the next thing we moved on to, we had a little bit of a strategic roadmap. The next thing we moved on to was we wanted to streamline our investment menu. Our menu was a really good menu at good funds. We'd been keeping them up and replacing when we needed to, but it was all based on the Morningstar style box. And you know, we could see, we did a lot of research to see what our participants were doing, how they were allocating. We found out that their relationship of age to equity, there was none. Nobody was really adhering to the invest more in equities when you're younger and less in equities when you're older. They just weren't doing that. Also, there was really not a lot of sense about how people were using growth and value funds, yet we were giving them those choices. There was not a lot of logic about the distinction between small and mid. And so we really could see the benefit of streamlining the menu, reducing the choices, making it easier for people, but behind the scenes, inside of each one of our white label funds would be more diversification, more optimization, and you know, better opportunity for investment growth.
And the target date fund, are you seeing a lot of contributions flow into the target date fund? Because we kind of see that with other types of plans.
New enrollees are, you know, by and large going target date. Our plan has gotten to the point where we're about a third target date, a third core, and a third, well, less than a third, about 26% stable value. But I'll tell you that we're down from 60% stable value, which is what it was when I came into the plan, you know, which is that was real typical. And so we do, it's a little bit early to go in and do an analysis of how people are allocating now that we have our white label funds in place. But when enough time has passed, we'll do that and we'll look at it, and I hope that we'll see that people are allocating better. And basically we've embedded asset allocation advice or guidance structure into our menu. And people have simpler choices, and there's less opportunity to mistakenly think you're diversified when you're really just in several different equity funds. You know,
and that's the importance of communication. I mean, you've got to remind people that they need to take a look. I mean, you know, you talked earlier, planning for the vacation. They're planning to, you know, their jobs, and they're consumed by today, but they really need to take a look at and refresh and think about things continuously.